Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boys, B-E-A-U-Z Bows. I'm Bernie.
I'm Johan.
Welcome to the Baddies and Bad Decisions podcast.
You know, since we've gone through so many crazy things on our journey, we just really think that we should share it with you guys so you guys can live vicariously through our eyes.
But first, tequila.
Tequila always makes things better, man. You know what we call ourselves, right?
No, I don't want people to know what we call ourselves, but this is why we drink tequila, is because the truth comes out, you know? Like, we stop caring so much about what people think just after one shot. It's like quite magical.
Yeah, caring about what people think is always a kryptonite to greatness. Here we go.
And of course, in this podcast, we'll be talking about a lot of interesting things as to why we drink tequila. If you guys don't know, I don't drink vodka, whiskey, soju, and a bunch of other spirits anymore.
Yes.
Tequila is like my go-to drink.
It's also like through the process of deduction. You know, in the beginning, all alcohol welcome.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
First, tequila.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro.
Start of a journey.
All right, so I think I want to break the ice by talking about a topic that we get asked every interview.
Well, what might that be?
How we got the Zed collab. I'm sure a lot of people are dying to know how this happened. How did, two brothers, relatively unknown, secure a mega collab with Zed and country superstar Maren Morris?
The whole story is nothing short of a miracle, actually. And, I think everything is just by hard work, chance, and faith. We were making remixes on YouTube, just like on viral songs, anything we can get our hands on. And then when we uploaded a remix of a song called Happy Now onto YouTube, Zed's videographer, Chris Yoder, found it online. And he was looking for a remix just, to put on his birthday video for Zed. And he found our remixes and he used it.
Shout out Trap City. Shout out Rob Lewis. He was the guy who asked us to remix Happy Now in the first place. And we released a bootleg version on this YouTube channel called Trap City, who support us a lot. And that is how Chris Yoder found the remix.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the Day One homies who supported us. Anyways, we got it out and then Chris Yoder picked it up. Zed used it for his birthday music video. We DM'd him on Instagram saying, hey man, thank you so much for using our music and giving us a chance to shine, We feel the love. And Zed was like, hey, this remix is so great. Do you want to release on Interscope? At that moment, we were just starstruck because, Zed has been really just the pioneer of the industry, and being able to get a compliment from him like that means the world to us. And we're like, say less. Let's release that remix. And after that release, we became longtime friends. Like literally, he would give us a lot of tips, a lot of help, and we'll just send music back and forth. We always send our new music to him. He's a busy guy, didn't really get to check a lot of times, but finally, on the 5th time I remember, he said, hey bro, sorry I've been so busy, but I have time right now to check new music. Do you want to send a link? I was like, Bernie, this is our time. And so we sent through a link with a lot of unreleased demos. Not a lot, I would say like 3 songs. Link of 3 songs. And by God's grace, the first one he checked, he loved it. He sent it back. He sent a feedback to us, and he was like, hey, I really like this track. What's the plan on this? And I say, hey, we don't have plans right now, but let's make plans together. And then he was down. Ever since then, we just started working on this track together. 2 years in, after I visited him on one of his Vegas shows, he said, hey, I'm gonna get in the studio with Charlie Puth. I'm gonna pull up our beat and maybe we can write something. I was so nervous at that point. I was like, please let this be it. 3 days later, he was like, Charlie loved it, made a cut, sent the version to us, and we thought, mama, we made it. Like, this is it, fam.
I remember it was like my birthday, and then I was in disbelief. I didn't believe that it was happening. I didn't believe Zed was in the studio with Charlie. I didn't believe that they would write to our song. But then Johan sent it to me, and he was like, fam. And I was like, fam.
Dude, yo, high five right here.
So when I heard it, I was in absolute shock. It was beautiful. Charlie really killed it, and That demo was just really great. And we were just ready. We're ready for it. We were like, yo, this is it, right?
But the moral of the story here is that good things take time. Never give up. Patience is key. These are all the words that Zedd had taught us throughout the years, because the Charlie Puth cut was supposed to come out. It's just when the pandemic hit, it doesn't make sense to release a song like that. Dance music is very impression driven. You have to play your music live. People have to feel
The bass.
The bass carries the emotions. So it makes everything so much more three-dimensional. You can actually bring the lyrics to life with it. But without live shows, dance music just doesn't hit as hard. So we decided to wait for a little bit. And unfortunately, Charlie was not able to be on the final version. And when we first heard that news, it was, of course, devastating for us. We would love to have Charlie on the track, but
at that point, the whole team already gave up. We're like, yeah, it's never gonna come out. Whatever.
Yeah, but every single time we go to the studio, I'll be like, hey team, Zedd gave me an update. This is gonna come out soon. Don't worry, don't you worry. And everybody's like, yo, dream on. Hey, yo, Johan, sleep early tonight so you can go back into your dream. Persistence is key. Finally, Zedd came back to me and be like, hey, Apple actually interested in the track to use it for their campaign. It's a campaign for Made on iPad. It's basically a campaign showcasing what iPad can do for creatives like graphic designers, artists. So they proposed to make a music video for the track, use it as an advertisement, and the whole music video is gonna be edited with an iPad. They had 20 artists working on it, and Apple handpicked Maren Morris, rising country music star who has killed it with Zedd in their last collaboration, The Middle, and everything just fell into place, literally within 3 weeks.
It was quite insane. I remember Anton sending a revised version every night and just being super excited about it. He would with every version, he would give an accompanying paragraph describing what he did, all the little details. But to us, everything just sounds great already. And we're just like, okay, I don't really hear a difference, but great.
Yeah, that's when you know Anton has that craftsmanship, and then he really works on his art.
That's just what separates the men from the boys. The men can tell the difference.
Absolutely. We were just wowed, and we were just super thankful to be part of the journey, right? And finally, the song came out. We had a great release party. The homies, the family, all got to witness it. That's how the Zedd collab came to be.
Yeah, the release party was actually held in a place really familiar to us, Taipei. We got so many friends from childhood. And then I remember the day of release, we played at this club called AI. Shout out DJ Junior. And our dad actually brought an entourage to see our performance.
Needless to say, everybody that night were the baddies.
And then
baddest in town.
I gotta mention, that was not the first time our dad saw us perform. In fact, he saw one of our first ever festival gigs in San Diego. I remember vividly.
That's crazy.
That was a crazy night because we were very unknown. At that point, we just started about 3 years, releasing unofficial remixes on SoundCloud. And a guy reached out to us on SoundCloud. I believe it was called Levitate Events. And then they booked us for a show with a lot of other regional acts. And I believe Kranken was the headliner. And we're like, yo, we freaking made it. We are playing a festival. We were so freaking proud. It was amazing. Anyways, we got there. We had a really early slot. We played to about 10 people.
Yeah, hey, but that was legendary already. You know, we didn't really always have great relationship with our dad, and that was one of the first times he got in touch with us and get to see what we're doing. And it was a festival, although it was like a very locally put together festival. It meant the world to us to have our dad dancing in the crowd. 1 of 10.
No, I bet he was flabbergasted. I bet he was absolutely just in shock because the music was so loud. It was like, I believe it was like a bass music event. You know, it was like a bass music event, and he was I bet he was just like, what the heck?
Yeah, but he brought his A game though. He was dancing his heart
Yeah,
out.
he was definitely dancing.
Shout out to our dad.
Shout out Dad.
Yeah, so after that was the first time he saw it.
Yeah.
And then he witnessed the Zed collab release party.
In AI.
That's a full circle moment.
Yeah,
That's
because
really a full
AI
circle.
was like nearly sold out, I believe. It was super packed. And then us growing up in Taipei, it was very surreal to be surrounded by a lot of familiar faces, being able to show friends and family how far we have come with a Zed collab. You know, it's like a homecoming moment.
Yeah, and also when we're growing up, we live in a society where it's more like everything's more safe. Parents really want the kids to grow up safely under, making safe decisions, being able to feed themselves with lucrative and stable jobs. So, the arts, music, it's always a risky job in the eyes of the parents in our society. So like growing up, we never really thought that that this day would come this fast. We could prove to them that our path, although high risk, is worth it because it makes us happy and then, the passion drives us.
All in all, we just want to give a huge shout out to Anton and his team for putting together all of this so swiftly, and for Johan for his undying persistence. Like without him, nobody would have believed this would happen. But because he maintained a close relationship with Anton, and I believe we hung with Anton in Vegas a couple times, 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah, shout out to my friends who also came. Whenever I say, let's go support Anton in Vegas, you guys all mobbed out, bought the most expensive tables. We just skipped lunch and dinner just to make sure that we have the table to support Anton. And we always have a great time and always shows us the best time. Takes care of us from the start to the end of the night. So, the collab is a start, is a fuse and then a spark that started the whole thing, right? But what we really got was lifelong friendship and mentorship and just countless lessons that's probably gonna help us throughout our career because, this is definitely just a start, right? There's gonna be a lot more difficult things that are gonna beat us down, make us wait, seemingly just discouraging us to the max. And I think this is just a good start, a good practice run.
In fact, this is just the start of many adventures because after that Taiwan release party, we actually went to the States to begin our tour. But before we begin our North American headline tour, we went to Vegas, like literally a day after we landed in Los Angeles. We just drove to Vegas, went to see Anton. Where was he playing? He was playing at Zouk.
I actually have to recall, I have to remind myself when this trip you just mentioned is because both times we went to the States, both headline tours, we went to Vegas right after we landed.
Yeah, literally a day after we landed.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it's just a lot of YOLO moments for this.
Hey, it's called baddies and bad decisions. We make the bad decisions to make a good result.
Amen.
Let's go.
But yeah, we went to Vegas to party with Zed for his birthday, and we had video proof. That was just a legendary night because Zouk was insanely packed. It was like nothing I've ever witnessed before. The stage could probably fit about 200 people, and I swear there were like 300 people. It was like way too many people. But it was just surreal being able to get on stage with Zed while he played our song together, just vibing together. It was just amazing vibes.
It was hella funny. He would be rocking the crowd, right? And then he'll make sure that we were in the back, still in the back, because we have to be at arm's reach any moment. He's gonna have to bring us up when Make You Say is gonna be played. And of course, as legendary as Zed is, he's gonna feel it out. He's gonna drop Make You Say whenever he wants, right? So we just have to like hover in the back while everybody's pushing us like sardines. And then once the moment is ripe, he turns around. He was like, "Come through, brothers." And then literally like a Greek god portrait painting, we're just like, the tour manager, Paul, shout out Paul, pull us across the ocean of people, and we finally made it on stage. That was beautiful.
I want to mention a pleasant surprise that we got that night. We actually saw Martin Garrix literally hanging out with Zed. I even have a picture with him.
Yeah.
And that was amazing because after Zed set, we all went to his penthouse suite and then we partied until like 5 a.m.
That's just showing us how it's done, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just showing us how it's done. Just gotta learn from the best.
That was one of the most unforgettable nights of my life.
Everything kind of just build up to this moment right now in our branding, our mentality, who we are today. That's how we came up with the Baddies and Bad Decision slogan. It didn't come just from one day. I think it just comes from a repetitive mentality going into our show, out of our show, giving our best on the stage, connecting with the fans. That's when we really realized what we want to portray.
Yeah, shout out all the baddies partying with us on the penthouse suite for Zed's birthday that weekend in Vegas.
Yep.
All right, I think that wraps up the Zed story, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good wrap.